I took a job cleaning an abandoned hospital at night. Not because I was desperate, though I kinda was, but because I thought I could handle it. The job paid nearly double the standard rate. Quiet environment. No co-workers. No patients. Just me, a set of keys, and an old mop. The job description was clear. Clean only the east wing. Do not enter any locked rooms. Leave before 3 a.m. Easy enough. At least, that's what I thought. The hospital was called Westbrook Asylum. Closed since 1987, according to the internet. Something about funding. Something else about lawsuits. No clear cause, just vanished from records. The building sat at the edge of a small Pennsylvania town, hidden behind thick woods and rusted fencing. The first night I showed up, I was handed a keyring by a man who didn't get out of his car. "You'll hear things," he said, not meeting my eyes. "Ignore them." Before I could ask what kind of things, he drove off. Inside, the hospital smelled like wet paper and copper. The floor creaked. The air was thick, as if the building hadn't quite exhaled in decades. But the east wing, it looked almost preserved. Long white holes. Fluorescent lights that still worked, mostly. Broken wheelchairs tucked into corners. Room numbers that looked too clean for a place that's been shut down for 40 years. And every so often, on the intercom, static. Just static. By the third night, things began to shift. It started with footprints. Bare, small, and wet, on the clean tile behind me. Always behind me. Then came the voices. Not screaming. Not crying. Just soft conversations, barely above a whisper, leaking from behind locked doors. I told myself it was in my head, that the place was playing tricks on me. But on the fifth night, I found room 209 unlocked. That door was never supposed to open. It didn't even have a keyhole. But there it stood, slightly ajar, as if waiting. Inside, the air was freezing. The bed was still made. A child's doll lay on the floor, and on the wall, in charcoal or blood, I couldn't tell which, the words, "Still here." I didn't clean that room. I just shut the door. Only, when I turned around, I wasn't in the hallway anymore. The floor had changed. What was tiled before was now rotted linoleum, soaked in black. The lights flickered overhead like they were breathing. And the hallway stretched too long. I tried to run, but my footsteps didn't echo. I heard whispers, but I wasn't moving. Not forward, just deeper. The hospital had changed around me. I found a stairwell that led down to the old surgical wing. It wasn't listed on my map. In fact, the lower levels were sealed with caution tape my first night. But the tape was gone. So were the signs. As I descended, the walls grew narrower, more organic, like a throat closing in. I reached the bottom and found myself in a long hallway. No lights, only exit signs glowing red. That's when I saw her. A little girl, maybe 6 years old. Hospital gown. No shoes. Long black hair. She just stood at the far end of the hallway, staring at me. When I called out, she turned and walked, not ran, into the last door on the left. Against every instinct I had, I followed. The room was empty, except for a mirror. It was the only clean thing in the entire wing. Smooth, spotless, standing in the center of the room, like it had been placed there carefully. And it didn't reflect me. Not exactly. The reflection looked like me, but its eyes were wrong. Too black, too still. Then it smiled, and the room began to spin. The lights flickered violently, and the floor opened beneath me. I fell, not down, but inward. I woke in what looked like the same hospital, only reversed, like a mirror world. Everything was silent. No static, no voices, just distant sobbing echoing through endless holes. The east wing was gone. Now it was just corridors, infinite, looping, decaying. I saw windows that looked out into forests of teeth. I passed rooms where patients clawed at invisible walls, mouthing words I couldn't hear. Time didn't pass. My watch was stuck at 2:59 a.m. Forever. And the worst part? I wasn't alone. There were others, dozens, maybe more, wandering like me. Lost, trapped, some still in cleaning uniforms, some in patient gowns. or with eyes too wide, hands trembling like they remembered what happened before the mirror. They looked at me like they were waiting for something, or someone. And then I saw the girl again. Only now, she was grown. She stood by the same mirror in a room just like before. And when she spoke, her voice wasn't angry. It was tired. "They left us here," she said, "when the hospital shut down. Patients, staff, forgotten. But we never left." She stepped into the mirror. "Now it's your turn." I don't remember how I got out. I woke up in my car, outside the hospital, covered in dust. My watch said 3:01 a.m. The hospital was dark, quiet, boarded shut again, like it had never opened. I never got paid, and I never went back. But every night at 2:59 a.m., I see her in my mirror. She's waiting. And one night, I think I'll answer. Candle Hash, this has been a Whisperoot original. Remember, if you take a night job in an abandoned place, never follow the footprints. And never, ever look into the mirror.